Hey guys, Jeremy here at My Way MFG. Back working on the deck today. Let me show you what we got done. Left off over there with that pole in that corner last time. Got the 2x12 up and this next pole in. Got 2 floor joists holding that post up at the top and 2 floor joists holding that one at the top. And I ran one across there in the middle. I've got all these marked out now where they go. I'm gonna run one more right here. I'll skip a few. I just want it tied together with the 3 frames for now because I've got all these 2x4s that hold the roof up. They're all screwed onto that first 2x12 and I'm notching the fronts right now so I can get the other 2x12 in. Termites got to that post pretty good. But anyway, as soon as I get them sandwiched in there, I'm gonna cut all the rest of this bottom framing out. And then we'll leave that top stuff holding the roof for now, but it will come out eventually too. And then the roof will get raised on up. Probably not this year though. You guys seen as I was working on this Thursday and Friday. Well, I woke up Saturday. I was stiff and hurting and couldn't even hardly move. I left my shoes untied all day because I couldn't reach my feet. So that was good. It was all I could do to keep my eyes open. I was so tired. I woke up Sunday morning, really wasn't any better. So I decided to push mow the yard. I got the yard mowed, kind of loosened me up a little bit. Later on that night, I sneezed. Then I was able to reach my left foot. So Monday morning rolls around, I had a pit to dig in a basement floor for a sewage ejection pit. And I went over there with post hole diggers thinking, God, I wish I hadn't scheduled this for today because I don't feel like doing this. I got over there and he had most of it done, the homeowner, with a spade. I only had to go like a foot and I was done. So I left. I said, I'll get material for this and be back tomorrow. Well, I was glad he had that dug out the way he did. But anyway, that's where we're at on that. I'll film the rest of it, but I just wanted to show you. This is Monday afternoon. Just wanted to show you where I was at the moment. What a week I've had. Seemed like I was busier this week than usual. I had a new bathroom going in a basement, break the concrete up, put in an ejection pit, pump, all of that. I knew I was going to be starting that this week, so be it. But then I had a lot of other stuff come up. Ended up with 2 water heaters to put in for one thing, and one of them was mine. I came home from work Tuesday, and I heard water running, and my water heater was puking all over the floor. So I went to town and got one and had that thing installed by about 6 o'clock at night. Big problem was power vent water heater, so that thing was $1,300. Good thing was I didn't have to pay labor to put it in. Bad thing was I had to put it in, but I didn't have a 2x3 coupling. I'm gonna have to redo this at some point. I'm just gonna extend that pipe on down so that 45 is straight up and then put a reducer and come straight down into it and get rid of them 2-inch 45s. But for now, at least I got hot water. The last time I had to put a water heater in, I had this power vent in there originally. I took all the power vent stuff off of it and I put on just a good tank I had from a standard water heater. And that's what I've been using for about the last 8 years. I'm gonna save all that stuff because it could go back on another tank if I was ever in a bind. I see on the new ones, they've ran the wiring down through the water heater jacket, so you can't remove that stuff and put on a standard tank. But I have a grinder. I would just slit this, peel the sheet metal off, peel that wiring out of there. I'll save that stuff too. And then the next time I need a water heater, I'll just buy a standard water heater and just, a tank's a tank, right? Just screw all that stuff back to it. So between that new power vent stuff and this old power vent stuff, next time around I should be able to just buy a regular water heater. Usually what happens, I've got a good tank laying around here, but this time I didn't. But anyway, that's what my week has been. 15 water heaters out in the scrap pile, all of them leak. So I thought, well, I'll just go to Menards and buy the cheapest one they got. So I got a tank, and then I'll put that power vent stuff back on it. Well, the cheapest one they got is still 500 bucks. And you're taking all the new controls off of it, putting that old junk back on there. I just didn't want to do that. If I'd had a used tank around, I probably would have. Anyway, let's get back on the deck for a bit. That's the water heater I had in my house. That was just a standard water heater that I'd put the power vent stuff onto. One more thing I wanted to mention though, the baffles that go down through the center of the tank, seeing how it's got the fan on it, they're more restricted. So you've got to save this if you ever want to use that power vent kit. That's what they look like on a power vent water heater. If you don't change that, your water heater will run all the time and never really get hot. Let me try to show you what regular baffles look like. Oh, there's a baffle out of a just a standard water heater that vents, you know, naturally aspirate, or whatever they call it, you know, a draft vent. And this is out of a power vent. So you do have to save that to use the power vent kit. Just drop her down through the center. But I probably shouldn't be recommending anybody do that anyway. It's probably illegal. I just do it at my own house just because, well, power vent water heaters are expensive. The first time I did that, I didn't change that. And that night or something, me or Carol took a bath. I went down like an hour later and the water heater's running. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then I realized that it was just with the vent, the power vent on there, it just sucks all the heat out. So I changed that and then it worked fine. Anyway, that's where we're at with that. Let's do a little bit on the deck here. This deck job is hurting me. Anyway, I got everything notched out and I got this 2x12 cut to length. So we're gonna see if it fits in there. These are all notched all the way down. I think I got all the notches in the right place and big enough. Of course, there could be a crown in this that makes it go in a little difficult. But I'm gonna screw a 1x on the bottom of the notch here like I did before, so I got something to set it on and to see how close it is to fitting. I've got a bar clamp up here I'm gonna have to peel off. I was having a hard time getting that bottom in there. So anyway, let's see what happens here. There's a lot going on here with all these notches. I'd be kind of surprised if this was fit first time. Kind of hard to see the crown on these 2x12s. They're pretty straight. I'm going to say the crown is this way, so we're going to put this to the top. See if it'll go in there. That went way easier than I thought it would. I didn't test fit that before I turned the camera on. You guys saw that in real time. It just went. So that's good. I probably need to check everything for level and square one more time because next thing's going to happen, I'm going to attach all the floor joists. This is probably a last chance I got to really move anything. And I don't think I'm going to have to. I think everything's good, but that checks out good everywhere. You can mess around forever and never get it any better. So let's get all these floor joists up there and get them attached. After I got all three of these frames tied together, I'm going to feel pretty good about just cutting this wall out, I think. This one's kind of crooked, wavy looking along the edge. I can't really tell where the crown's at. Guess I just set it up there and flip it a time or two and see what it looks like against that metal support. Try to figure out where it goes. Usually you can kind of tell, but this one's a little rough. Got most of those up there. I need two more. I was too short. No big deal though, that's tied together pretty good now. I feel pretty good about cutting this wall out. I'll just put them other two up when I get the deck boards. the studs are out of there. All of our weight's on the new wall now. What's left of that floor is just sitting there. It's not holding anything anymore. So that can all come out. This floor's come in kind of handy for me because doing it the way I've been doing it, I've been able to kind of use it like scaffolding, you know. And that being said, I've got this hole up here that I'm gonna have to lay some blocks in. And that is where the ductwork went through from the coal furnace into heat the house. So I need to lay some blocks in there, and I can stand right here and do it. So I think I might do that next before I tear this out. I got to thinking about that last night. I thought they only had supply air ran in there. There was no cold air return. So the cold air return was sucking out of the side of the furnace here, right in the coal room. Gosh, can you imagine how dirty that would have been? You'd have came out here and stirred all this coal dust up, shoveling it in, and all that coal dust in the air would have sucked right in through there and blowed out all over your house. That had to have been very, very dirty. Very dirty. But anyway, we're gonna plug that hole coming up here, and then I'll tear this out. Guys, that's as far as I got on the garage this week. Just had too much to do. There was a car show today in Oneida, Illinois. I had some friends going to it. I was gonna take Eliza in the 59 as well. Well, Eliza was running bad yesterday, so I pulled the distributor back off, checking that stuff out. I got all of my points out. I took them all apart and I used the best pieces. Ended up having 3 separate sets here. Anyway, I would get that all back together, and the car kept wanting to pop and back. Its car would start and idle good. Go to rev it up, it'd pop back through the carburetor and backfire and stuff. I had that distributor off there 6-7 times, and I've never had any problems with setting this and putting it back on. It's always just, anytime I've ever done that, it's ran really good. In fact, I even did a video on it saying that I think everybody's overthinking it, you know, with all this timing and dwell stuff. But this time I couldn't get it to work right no matter what I did. If I would retard it all the way as far as I could, it would start to kind of quit popping and run a little better. So I tried an experiment, and on the set of points that control the timing, not to dwell, I set a real small gap there. I didn't even measure it, but it was just a real thin gap, probably like 10,000ths or something. I put it back in the car. It kind of quit popping and backfiring, but of course then it overheated. But I was just trying to, I knew that wouldn't work, but I was just trying to kind of go through a thought process with it and see what was going on. Anyway, the conclusion I came to, when I had set the points at 15 and put all these pieces together and come up with the best case scenario, I got star washers back in there now. Used the best pieces of whatever points I had. Set them at 15, it should have just worked, it didn't. I gotta think something else was wrong. So I went out this morning, I checked resistance on the coil on the primary and secondary sides, and on the primary I had, I don't know, 2.3 or something like that, and then on the secondary I had like 8.6. That all worked out. I thought, yeah, it's not a bad coil. So then I got to the condenser. I done a resistance check on it, open limit, it's dead. So this is what was causing my whole problem, at least I think. I don't have one here to replace it with, but I'm gonna have to pull the distributor back off and get the points set back at 15, because like I say, I closed that one side up just to see what would happen. But I think this has caused my problem. But anyway, we're not gonna make it to the car show, I don't think. It's already started. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all them things. We'll catch you on the next one. Later, Jeremy.